I'll break the silence then.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Waiting there, we were counting in. We weren't quite sure when we were going to go, but we're back. No worries whatsoever. Welcome back, everybody. Obviously, I am still MaskedSwan. Of course, I am joined by Skull. Sir, we have an amazing finals to do, but before we do that, I do need to let everybody know that this series is brought to us by Huddle.gg in collaboration with Clue's 24-hour charity marathon, which is being sponsored by Acer's Planet 9, which we saw a lovely little video info introducing what Planet 9 is, how you can get involved in it, as well as a gorgeous interview brought to us by our amazing host with the most, that would be Woody as well. We've got a spectacular finals to bring to you, and that's going to be the Pigeons facing off against the Dragons, isn't it, Skull?
Indeed, yeah. This I've said this before. This is going to be a very balanced matchup, and it's going to be between two teams that have won both of their semi-final games, obviously.
Yep.
So it's not like they have a lot to play for, but at the same time, they have something to prove. As in, like, they didn't get to the finals by luck. They got to the finals because they know what they're doing and they know what they want to achieve. Right?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of options there. I mean, you've already started bringing up important matchups for these two teams. You specifically highlighted a specific lane already. So if you want to let the audience know where you're excited to be watching.
Yeah, I'm very excited to look at this ADC match because from what I can tell, both ADCs are exactly the same rank. They're both in Diamond 1 on Europe West. And they play kind of contrasting champions. From what I've seen, the Dragons ADC, Lucky Shu, prefers to play Sivir and Jin, while Randomness prefers to play Aphelios and Ezreal.
More meta picks from Randomness.
Yeah, while from Lukey, I'm just gonna call him Lukey. I hope he doesn't mind. While Lukey kind of prefers playing off meta but still strong picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options open there in that bot lane. Obviously, half the time you're only as good as your support as a carry, because you do have another person in that lane. And we saw Salmon Roll really coming out. One of the lowest members on their team only being Silver 1, but actually performing as if they were Plat 1, in all fairness, in that game. Definitely backed up by randomness in a lot of spots there, but really showed off that that rank is merely an option, and if you're willing to put the time into grind, you can climb up. But over on the other side, we saw Gachi Lover pulling out some gacha base moves. Definitely felt like it. And they played amazingly in their game against the Gladiators. They were finding picks all over the spot. So lots of options there for that bot lane duo.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a contrast in the top lane as well. Mincer being bronze 1, I'm not sure if that's his actual rank because he has quite high win rates on OPGG, but he's up against a Diamond 3 player that is Hazed. And Hazed prefers to play, well, the Pigeons, Hazed, just to clarify, prefers to play Kiora and Vladimir, kind of. And then you have a contrast on the other hand, the guy that's supposedly bronze 1 that hasn't played much on this account, that plays a lot of Darius and Mordekaiser, which is something. I mean, Mordekaiser and Vlad, it's something we're used to seeing in competitive play, as well as Fiora against Darius. They're two matchups that probably go hand in hand in terms of damage and utility.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Pigeons top lane, hence is Fiora one trick, but we're doubting that they're going to be actually able to pick that Fiora up, as probably would be a little bit of a mistake if they were able to get that up. It does look like we will be going into the pick and ban phase very soon, so we're just waiting for that to start. As soon as it starts, we will have it. I've got the pick and ban already always right in front of me, so we're just watching with keen eyes. Let's talk about this mid lane.
Yep.
For a hot second, as we're waiting for the first few bans to come in. Incident versus the Sorcerer versus the Sorcerer. We saw a lot of fights as Kiana is the first ban taken away from Incident themselves.
Can I just note that this is completely a target ban? The Pigeons mid laner is a Kiana one-trick pony. Therefore, Fiora target ban as well. It's probably severe target ban. It's just okay. Both teams have scouted each other. This is serious now. There's 3 target bans in this place.
You want to win now? Think about
Yeah.
it. It's a bit different. It's not the 3rd place match, 4th place match. No. Glory here. You want to win it. You want to take it all.
Yeah. I feel like both champion pools for solo laners have been reduced to ashes. Like, we see a Fiora ban, Darius ban, Kiana ban. They banned Sivir out of Luki as well. The Diamond 1 ADC main for the Dragons. It just makes a lot of sense. The Jax ban was also targeted to Hayes, which is a champion that he dazzles with, but hasn't really found much success in. In the Syndra Prio pick, what do you think of this one?
Totally viable. I mean, it makes sense. It can be flexed in competitive play. It can be flexed between 2 lanes. I don't believe that will be happening, as I didn't see a lot of games from Lukia. Oof, that's a name I am going to struggle with.
Luki. Just
Luki.
go on Luki.
But I mean, it's definitely something that the Sorcerer has played in their solo queue, so totally viable. Don't mind it. It's also a really good control mage, which you can play in a lot of different comps. Over for the side of the Pigeons, though, we see a Aphelios and J4 coming out.
Predictable picks, in my opinion. Aphelios is a randomness champion of, comfort, pretty much. And J4 is, once again,
tonight's most played champion.
It's tonight's most played champion. So it's I see what they're going for. They're going for a comfort pick / team comp. They're creating a mixture of both, which will probably have the best chemistry in the actual game itself.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, you probably want to pair it with a support pick that Salmon Roll can do, and then you can figure out where you're going to go with these last 2 picks for top and mid. Seeing the Ezreal coming in for Lukiu, as that Sivir was taken away, decided not to go for their Jhin or Lucian, which is champions I was more expecting, but always willing to be surprised. What do you expect this last one to be? Kha'Zix. Oh.
I expect probably not a top lane ban, actually. Top lane hasn't been picked as of yet. They've set their sights on Darius, so I'm assuming it's going to be a Mordekaiser ban. Ooh, Echo ban. Okay.
Echo pick.
Interesting.
Pick.
Oh, sorry. My mind is at 200 right now. Yeah, I expected them to pick a top laner, by the way, because there's so many top laners already banned. Or, well, there's 2 top laners already banned. Probably a third over with Volibear, depending if that's going to the jungle or to the top as a target ban. But picking a mid laner right now is a very bad decision, just because the mid lane prio has already been given to the blue side. I would have just gone with a top prio pick just to make sure it doesn't get banned out anymore.
I mean, but getting an Ornn, Wukong, Aatrox, there's so many out there. I mean, for both top laners, they've still got about 2 or 3 more champions that they can still pick. That Mordekaiser you were talking about, the Aatrox I mentioned earlier. I mean, for the Pigeons, their top laner also plays Riven and Jax and Vladimir. There's a lot of opens. We saw the Dragon's top laner actually playing that Jax. So while all these bans are target banned, we've got Jax, Fiora, Wukong being banned for the Darius and Volibear. Looks like a no ban, which is probably a proxy ban, as we've got the Camille also coming in.
Oh, apparently ban is Mordekaiser. It's not Camille.
Okay, so
ban is Volibear. I don't know. They haven't clarified, but one of the bans is Mordekaiser. I'm assuming it's going to be Volibear.
No, that would be the no ban, because the Pigeons did a no ban.
Okay, then yeah, that's I can confirm that the no ban is a Mordekaiser ban. So the Dragons will not be able to pick Mordekaiser or Darius in the top lane.
6 bans coming out for the top lane. 1 ADC ban, 1 mid lane ban, and 1 jungle ban. Wow, that is well, we know which lane that both teams don't like. I think that's included it. Not the Diamond Wand AD carries, the top laners.
But both ADC picks are completely predictable. Like, I could close my eyes throughout Champion Select and probably guess that Ezreal and Aphelios were picked, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if they're not banned, they'll most likely be picked, as well as you could sometimes see an Ashe coming in a few times.
Yep. It seems like Leona is gonna be their pick. Doesn't seem like it's a flex pick because I haven't seen anything in the production channel.
Well, so we got
However,
the Rocket over for the Pigeons first, and then we got the Leona lock in for the Dragons. I mean, Leona with Ezreal makes total sense. It's a lane we've seen multiple times before, and the Maokai, that top lane. Okay, so what would you pick into Maokai? Because you've got open choice.
Ornn. There's no other option, I don't think. You can only
Yeah.
counter Maokai with his firepower. You can only pretty much go hand in hand with him. You can't really try to outsmart a Maokai because his skill shots are so hard to miss. Right?
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. Oh, they're hovering the Vladimir. Seem to
Not
disagree with you at the moment. They lock it
not
in.
sure it's the smartest pick.
They fully disagree. I think part of the reason that they don't want to go for the Ornn is the only person that's going to be able to benefit from the ornament items is really going to be Aphelios, who really builds those naturally. Everybody else on the side of the Pigeons would have to be more forcing ornament items, which is less ideal. Vladimir, though, versatile. I mean, at some point he will just outscale almost everybody on the team of the Dragons. So he will be able to just split push AFK and force this down. But I do have to agree with you. I don't know if it's quite the correct pick, but what would you pick instead? Well, Jax doesn't seem very good. So Riven and just run it down and just try and win. Is it your one of your mains is a Riven?
I'd say Malphite at this point. Then, if you don't want to play Dion and benefit off his engages and there's bonuses to the team, I'd just say go Malphite. Just if Maokai engages, you engage back. And that's it. Like both teams would have a good engage power.
So you can't engage on Malphite. You can't engage with Malphite if you're already in the Maokai ultimate already. You'd have to wait till after your entangle.
It's only about 1.25 seconds route, right?
But if that's onto an Aphelios with the Kha'Zix in the background who isolates him and kills him, that's all that matters. You won't be able to respond back. I don't hate it. I think there are options open there. The Vladimir is an interesting pick, definitely. As is this Echo pick and Soroka. We haven't been seeing much Soroka ever since she did get nerfed and kind of modified and changed to be forced more to be a support instead of a top laner.
I'm just like considering team comps, team fights, and all that. It's something I usually do, and there's a lot of like. I think the Pigeons team comp right now with that Vladimir topping it off, it's so weird just because they're gonna have to play such a weird playstyle. They can't really force a team fight. They can't.
Well, they're a kiting competition.
Yeah,
it's kites. The Vladimir is also going to just outscale everybody on the enemy team. Syndra won't be able to. Syndra won't be able to do it because he has pool. Anytime that he's scared that she's going to ult him, he just goes pool. Don't care. He'll also have Zhonya's built as well, so Syndra's never going to be able to kill Vladimir when it gets to the mid to late game. So that's going to be an effectiveness. Ezreal and Aphelios basically scale pretty equally. Kha'Zix will drop off, which kind of then leaves it. So Vladimir can basically AFK push for most of this game. It's going to be around the rest of the teams of Pigeons if you were to ask me.
My only concern is that teams in this tournament have favored team fighting quite a lot, and I don't see how playing with pretty much 4 squishy champions is gonna help you in a 5v5 skirmish when you got Kha'Zix jumping to your backline, Leona jumping to your backline, Maokai pilling your Ezreal, Syndra.
Who do you think is squishy?
ADC.
Sorry.
Soroka
and Aphelios, sure, but the rest of the members aren't squishy.
I'd say Echo
J4 has it. Echo's not. No. The way you build Echo at the moment, you build health and armor. You build Zhonya and Hextech. So Echo, Echo has like off tankiness. He's not like his old jungle tankiness, but Echo will be totally fine and won't have to worry. Again, another great way around the Syndra. So we won't have to worry too much about that. Though their team fighting is going to be awkward. It's not as I do agree with you. Dragons obviously can just kind of click Maokai ult, click Leona ult, and then just hopefully find 1 or 2 picks. Whereas the Pigeons don't have quite that luxury. It's all on J4 or Echo landing an obscenely good ult, or Aphelios just doing a Graviton ult.
I'm just considering this. Like, if you look at the team comps straight up, like you imagine a fight, you imagine the whole game, like a 30-minute game, 40-minute game, whichever it would be. Who do you think would have the edge here in terms of team comp and champions?
So what if we went to minute 45?
Yeah, let's
Sure.
say minute 45.
I would give it to the Pigeons, because they have Aphelios and Vladimir.
Okay. Yeah.
Aphelios is Mr. 200. Like 200 years of game design, and you can 1v5 on Aphelios regardless of what your opponent's team is. He does have just still that potential with his flamethrower, graviton, ultimate. Absurd damages can happen. And I really like Vladimir. I think Vladimir still will be able to just kind of look at any member of the Dragons team and can force onto them. And the one thing I do think is going to be really useful is the Soroka. Because Soroka can still protect Aphelios really well, which will prevent the Kazakhs from ever getting the isolation onto the Aphelios in a lot of spots, especially with J4 with the flag and drag. It's going to be awkward for Syndra to find a good spot. Ezreal's got an awkward thing. Maokai's going to have to just kind of find the placement for it. We're going to be waiting a few more minutes as we've just got the players into the pick and ban phase. So it's going to be about 3 or 4 more minutes until we're actually onto the Rift. So do forgive us, everybody, as we have got that spectator delay as well.
You were saying all these things about Echo and Vlad. Echo can just engage and back off. Vlad can engage and pretty much kill anyone on their team. But I'm considering the Maokai passive. It's something that's really, really strong against AP heavy comps. And although Aphelios has a lot of AD, trust me, we know how much AD he has. They also kind of rely a lot on magic damage. If you think of Echo, Soraka, Vladimir, it's something that Maokai probably would favor in the team comp, you know?
I think to a degree, but it's not to the level that Galio is. And something like a Galio would be far better at dealing with that sort of team fighting. Galio's like the 5th most picked champion currently in competitive play, out behind Syndra and Azir, which is actually the most picked champion at the moment, especially because he's not banned anywhere near to the percentage that Syndra is. It makes a lot of questions around there. I think you raise a totally valid point. I think that Maokai will be a sore. The problem is, I think Pigeons can kind of almost ignore the Maokai in a lot of spots, especially after the ultimate. I think they're going to be able to just kind of kill the Syndra and the Ezreal. Kha'Zix won't ever be isolated, so it depends partly how Kha'Zix early to mid game goes, but he doesn't have a great amount of scaling at the moment. It's why we haven't been seeing Kha'Zix rather a lot in the metagame, because he relies on very specific metagames to be around, and we're not quite there. Jarvan's going to be able to just kind of rely on less gold. Kha'Zix needs to be funneled. You've got 3 champions you want to funnel on the side of the Dragons, being that Syndra, Ezreal, and Kha'Zix. So it's going to become very difficult. And try to gank a Vladimir, even as Maokai, is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I completely. I'm curious how come Kassadin and Yasuo haven't even been hovered or picked in the whole tournament.
Kassadin is definitely a valid competitive pick, and he's good in a lot of team fights. I was able to see the most kills of a few weeks ago in a professional play was actually done on a Kassadin. That was 12-2-1, I believe, done by Ardia over in the LJL. But over on the other side, Yasuo is actually dropping off pretty hard in competitive play. He hasn't been around much. He a lot of his combos don't work anywhere near as well as they used to, and he's just not that good at the moment for competitive play. You can maybe flex him down into the bot lane, but that's kind of the extent. Whereas almost every other control mages are kind of the big thing. Twisted Fate's currently a big pick at the moment for competitive play. So that's a champion I'm more surprised. That and Azir, we haven't seen any of those out from our teams, and they're the top. And I'm like, well, haven't seen them, so everyone wants to play their spice of life, and if you've got your pocket picks and it's not the best meta thing, well, why would you play it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You can't force yourself to a champion you're not comfortable in at the end of the day. I'm actually looking at Kha'Zix's stats in solo queue at the moment, in Platinum Plus solo queue, and he's got a 52.3% win rate and the 14% pick rate, which is actually considerably high for solo queue, because Kha'Zix, if you think about how long he was out of meta for, how long, like his pick rate was hovering like the 5%, the 2%, and all that, and now suddenly he's got this bump in play rate, he's got this bump in win rate, and people just start looking at the stats and go like, okay, maybe this could be viable, right?
Well, he did get a recent buff, so that's partly why. In 10.14 he got a buff, so that might also be partly just due to the can't remember quite the effect, but obviously something changes, everyone freaks out and starts playing it, and then they realize halfway through it's like, oh, he had a very small buff. It's not anywhere near as big as I thought it was. Let's go back to the drawing board and maybe actually think a little bit more about it. But I mean, that's impressive. 52 win rate.
It's
I
quite
wasn't
high.
expecting that.
He's a tier 1 pick at the moment, according to a service that I use to compare. It's not op.gg. I usually use Blitz. op.gg, Blitz. They all pretty much. I'm gonna be honest. The stats, the raw stats are there. They get the stats from the Riot Games API, and yeah, it's just, Volibear is also quite high win rate. Graves, we haven't seen a single Graves this tournament. Lulu, we've seen it once in a ban. We haven't seen it in a pick. Yeah, there's so many picks that are so strong right now that have just completely slipped by, and I'm pretty sure I think anyone would be able to pick up a Lulu, or anyone would be able to pick up Graves, because Graves in the jungle, I don't think there's much of a skill set for Graves in the jungle for high elo junglers, right? I don't hear you at the moment.
My apologies, I muted over on my side. Yeah, no, Graves is like one of the most picked junglers in the world at the moment because he's just so good. He's just so good in so many different spots. So it makes sense to always play him when you do get that luxury. It looks like we're about to get onto the Rift, but before we do, I do want to remind everybody, if you're tabbed out, come back here. Come back here. We're about to get into game. We're done with the talky about the stuff that you're not very interested in. We're just about us talking. Game's about to happen. If you're interested about this game, brought to you by huddle.gg, you need to go over and look down below. Brought to you by Planet 9, our sponsor, Acer's Planet 9. We're doing this charity 24-hour stream. And what are we doing it for? Well, we're doing it for the Guys and St. Thomas charity. We're on the Rift. Take it away, Skull.
Here we go, the Summoner's Rift, as we approach the final League of Legends game of the event, guys. There's going to be so many more games. It's a 24-hour event. You heard it right, 24 hours of constant gameplay, interviews, competitiveness. Arguably, League of Legends has taken competitiveness to a whole new level in this event. People want the bragging rights. They want to say, my uni is the best because I wanted this. My esports society is the best because we wanted that. So it's always bragging rights involving these London universities at the end of the day.
Yeah, these teams, these players, they are mixed teams at the moment. Part of Clue, if you're interested in what they are, it's down below. But that is a collaboration between multiple of the Central London University esports teams, being KCL, LSESU, UCL, and Imperial, all getting involved, collaborating together for this beautiful charity stream.
I just want to note, guys, that the poll will be starting very soon in the chat. You have 3 minutes to vote. Who do you think is going to take it all? Who's going to win in the finals? Are we going to be able to crown dragons or pigeons today?
I mean, we saw the flock of pigeons overcome the lions, so can they overcome the dragons, who is a mythical creature, or will pigeons reign supreme? Dragons on your blue side, pigeons on the red. Already seeing a lull state happening, because guess what? Top laners are just going to smack each other around a bunch, and then we'll just wait and see what's going to happen from there.
Indeed, Syndra tries to go for the stun. Incident just dodges, tries to get the passive proc on her, and he manages to do so. Seems to be a bit glitchy on our end at the moment. We're waiting to fix these issues, guys. Don't you worry about it. If you notice a bit of delay as well, be patient with us. And the finals will resume shortly as well.
Yeah, so one thing to note, we've seen a few mid laners or players of different calibers facing against each other on the stream. This one might be one of the big one. I want to highlight it a little bit. The Sorcerer is a mid-gold player. Incident is a Diamond 3 player. Oh, God. So that's got a lot of damage coming onto that top lane. It's going to be a huge difference in that mid lane.
Apologies, I am just getting my stream back up as I was having technical issues. So I'll take it with play-by-play just shortly.
Absolutely, no worries. We're seeing a bunch of poke coming out from this bot side. Very normal, as both junglers have just finished their clears. Both started on the same side and went down, so we've got red for Jarvan on We Tonight. And obviously, hi, starting on his blue side and coming down. They're going to meet each other and fight over this rug. Oh! Hi, had to flash away.
Sounds like a lot of intense gameplay happening.
Well, let's blood over to Tonight We. Incident was just taken out and just didn't have an option. Incident aggressively rotated around, helped his jungler out, used his flash, as did Tonight We, but was able to find it. Fast blood over to the pigeons, and that's exactly how you want to be doing it. Wondering though, momentum might be in the favor of the pigeons, but that's not going to be the decider as we wait and see how the rest of this will go. Are you still loading in the stream?
Yes, unfortunately, my end is crashed. I'm trying to get back in.
No worries, I will continue doing play-by-play then. Absolutely, I'll do play-by-play and color. Oh well, I mean, I do podcasting already, so I mean, it's just a natural evolution of this. We are seeing a minor difference coming out in that mid lane. Oh, taken really low. Lucky you, not too bad, but Randomness and Salmon Roll are definitely getting that aggression. A lot of poke coming out, which is to be expected, obviously, through that bot lane of Soroka and Aphelios. Great poke coming out, so especially with Flamethrower, really damaging, and Leona just has to kind of just take it, as mid lane is still smacking each other. Vladimir was taken pretty low early on, but has been able to heal up partly through just how Vlad works, not even having to recall, but still up. Going to be nice as he crashes that lane into it. Has a CS advantage, but obviously there is a huge wave going into that lane. Mid lane has been equaled out, and our junglers, they've just reset and are farming at the moment, as we have got an Ocean Drake on this Rift. Incident is coming back into lane, and our two top laners are still trying to smack each other around to no avail, for we know they love to hit each other, but they're never going to do anything. It's top laners. Come on. Let's be real here. They can't do anything, so they must do it. Randomist, though, is going to get one of the first plates. No, it is the first plate as it's going down very slowly. Did get it. It's down to 4. Gonna be hard for the Dragons to really secure up this bot lane, as they've got pretty decent vision, but Kha'Zix is looking out for it with high. Damage coming on. Level 6 advantage for our top laner. Vladimir's trying to find it.
Back in, I think good timing as well. Seems like I missed the first blood, Jarvan picking up that kill there, and Kha'Zix seems to be in the skirmish with Echo at the moment in their side of the jungle.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. It's going to be a lot more. Tonight We is looking for this pick on this Maokai, or Maokai rather.
Maokai. This skin is probably the best troll skin in the game. Definitely not Blitzcrank is second.
Are they coming
Maokai. Trying to salvage what he can from his life, tries to get the healing from his passive, just gonna end up falling down low. And this is what I get by the chess dynamics of the map, as blue team is okay to trade 1 kill for that Ocean Dragon on the bottom part of the map.
Another turret plate does go in the favor of the Pigeons, so they've got 2 turret plates. They did trade a kill for that Drake, but early Drakes are normally not the worst thing to trade for if you're able to get other advantages. Not at the 8-minute mark, so Tonight We wasn't able to then rotate around and try and get that scuttle, well, big scuttle of Krabby, but Shelly isn't quite there, so just going to have to reset.
Indeed, and Shelly seems to be coming up very shortly. It's actually 47 seconds on it, as bot lane trying to push in the lane, probably to either get a reset off or some bot pressure. Although Dragon has fallen, so it's good to have bot pressure because it means that their jungler will be able to rotate to the bottom side of the map to help us.
Well, they want to push in because they know that top side's going to be contested, and potentially they might even Randomness and Salmon Roll might be very close to getting level 6, so they want to aggressively push in and then rotate around to actually help their team with it. Though it looks like Tonight We isn't too interested in getting Shelly, as just doing farming in the bot side.
Yeah, this game seems to be what I'm expecting. Some early kills, some early objectives going down, nothing too chaotic. Both teams know this is the best of 1. They're playing this quite safe, so they don't throw and feel bad for letting the enemy team snowball a massive lead, just like it happened in the third place playoff, right?
Yeah, that's very true. We do currently already see over a 1.5k gold lead coming out for the Pigeons. Part of that's going to be the turret planing, part of that's going to be the first blood, part of that's just going to be the advantages they found with 2 kills up.
And already kind of a 1.5k gold lead I see by the red team. Those 2 kills really bringing in the gold. It's not a massive amount in the early game, but it's still quite significant for 8 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's along the lines of what I was thinking as well. I mean, there's a lot of options here open for the Pigeons and the Dragons. Obviously, we just saw that Rift Herald has just come up, so, but neither of the junglers are really focused. A lot of people 4-man down going to bot side. Gonna be interesting.
Oh, the party has arrived as Echo tries to throw down his W, but only gets the shield off, doesn't get the stun off. Leona tries to counter-engage on the Jarvan. Jarvan just goes back. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have a skirmish looking a lot more familiar than the third place playoff we watched earlier. And Vladimir actually go down because Maokai's damage is actually a bit surprising at the moment. This is what I've spoken about, and that's the passive heal coming in. And Maokai with Sunfire Cape able to get a kill on the Vladimir.
It's just Cinder Hulk for the moment. They haven't actually got the Sunfire Cape quite yet.
That's right.
Part of that was due to the fact that Vlad did actually have a lot of gold on him. He just straight up brought that it's not the Gunblade, it's what goes into the Gunblade. It's
Spellblade Thief? Oh, Leona going down on the Soraka. Soraka forced to flash away. Leona's still in position to stun the Soraka, not able to do so. Soraka, for some reason, walks forward, forced to use the barrier, and Ezreal just ends up sniping here in the end. Echo, in the meantime, is trying to get another W off, tries to get the stun. Will it be support for support? So far, so too. And Echo forced to use the ult as well. He's probably gonna fall down as well. He's going very low. Oh my word! Is this gonna be a double kill? Or is this gonna be? Ooh, so far a 2-for-2 trade. But,
that was really fortunate. Hi basically got exactly what he needed. Aphelios tried to do it, and it already showed a lot of the damage. They are going to benefit a huge amount through this just because of the amount of CS advantage. It basically evens out those top laners. Well, actually, if anything, Vlad is still ahead of this Maokai just due to the sheer amount of CS advantage and those turret plates that he's gotten down. Aphelios has taken down 3 turret plates now and is growing that gold lead.
I'd like to actually take a look at the individual gold just to check advantages in between lanes if possible. Just because, yep, there we go. Producer's right on it. You'd expect to see the gold leads where they are. You see Aphelios leading by almost 400 gold. You see Vladimir leading by 600. They're quite massive leads to have at 11 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, also that 50k, 500 gold lead also in the mid lane through Incident, who's been roaming around a fair amount. The Sorcerer has been just kind of staying in their lane and farming, trying to find anything, but hasn't really been able to do too much, and just due to that has been farming. Sadly, not even getting turret plates.
Indeed, and I just wanted to speak about... Oh, I was going to actually mention Hi right now. I didn't even realize he was doing the Infernal Drake, but Infernal Drake has gone down, and it seems to favor the blue team right now. As they've secured 2 Drakes, they've got 3 more to possibly get the soul. I just want to mention that Hi is very used to playing these AD heavy junglers, and I'll continue my train of thought very soon as Echo is about to get collapsed on by the bot lane. Syndra gets the stun off. Echo still has the ultimate just in case he wants to burst someone and escape with his full HP. Oh, he's still falling down very low. Leona overextending. Kha'Zix coming from downtown. The isolation damage is just too much. Jarvan isolated as well. Syndra lands the stun, and that's an auto attack cue from Ezreal. Ezreal also falling down very low. Aphelios collapsing late, but collapsing when it matters.
3 for 3. That was beautifully done by the Aphelios, and they're going to be able to get more turrets here. Again, a spot where it looks like it's pretty even between the Dragon and the Pigeons, but again, Aphelios keeps finding a way to make it slightly in their favor. Again, another 160 gold over to the side of the Pigeons, and these small edges have now equaled to over a 2k gold lead.
Yep, exactly what I was thinking. Back to my train of Oh my god, I'm never gonna get to speak about this. I just want to say it so badly because it's so useful to the game. Alright, stop fighting top lane. Enough. You guys are an island. Treat it like an island. Right. Okay. Maokai seems to be hellbent on killing this Vladimir. Vladimir seems to be hellbent on killing this Maokai. So we just see a trade going between two noodles. Vladimir doesn't seem to have his ultimate anymore. Maokai doesn't also have his ultimate, but actually takes him down. The catalyst proving too strong as Maokai is able to take Vladimir down once again. Soraka caught once again in a disadvantageous position, but both away safely. Right, as I was saying, yeah, Hi is very used to playing these high AD damage junglers. He mainly plays Lee Sin and Jaren 4. And picking up the Kazakhs was no surprise, as the Pigeons denied the German, as I recall.
Sorry?
Did the Pigeons deny Jarvan? That's what
No, that was the Dragons. Oh no, Jarvan wasn't banned.
Yeah, so it was denied.
The Pigeons took J4.
Right, they denied it from Hi, right? Because he mains J4.
But it's also tonight's one of his main champions, if not his main.
Oh, so they share the same champion pool, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Hi's main is Lee Sin and then J4.
Yeah.
Whereas tonight is like J4 and then Rengar is the next big one, and then maybe Wukong.
Yeah, he does seem to favor that Wukong quite highly. Yeah, just wanted to get that thought out because both junglers seem to have kind of similar playstyles if they're both playing this, well, similar sort of champions, AD heavy champions.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think the big thing that we've noticed from these junglers is Hi has been able to find 1 or 2 spots where he gets that kill, but normally pays for his sins with that. Oh, there's a huge thing coming in from an incident.
Echo being collapsed on once again, no time. Well, actually, sorry, that wasn't really my bad. Cinder was collapsed on and she was taken down. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Kaz is getting that isolation on Soraka as he loves, but Ophelia is getting a trade kill. Can he get a double kill here? Oh no, very low. He's got the right gun for it. Can Ezreal get the auto attack off? Oh my, what he does! Gets the Q off, the shutdown on Ophelia. That perfect KDA completely gone to shambles.
That was awkward. I'm not quite sure why randomness forced that Ezreal one. He was walking up very slowly, menacingly. Yada. We have no Oni-san anymore. The bot lane Echo, the bot lane Ezreal comes out and now has blue and red buff. Pretty good on Ezreal. Pretty good.
He's got his core items as well. Well, we've seen another wet noodle fight in the top lane of Vladimir. Well, Maokai seems to be getting the better of Vladimir. What do you think of this?
This is just how these things go early game. He's built a mask. It's going to be very hard for Vladimir to scale out at the moment, but come level 16, when Vladimir has level 3 ult, it doesn't matter how much stats that Maokai has, or Meowkai, he's just going to not do anything to Vladimir, as 1Q will just fully heal him up.
Yep, I mean, both champions are kind of healing champions if you really think about it. Maokai's got the passive, Vladimir's got obviously the blood draining, and it's just kind of like who heals better and who deals the most damage in the early game, so I kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of it is Leandri's and Morello's, that ever-lowing debate of sinners and all. You know, from many famous casters, and casters we both respect, I imagine. It does also raise the question of what is more important. Tried for it, was not successful. But, I mean, that is something that Vladimir can build, as opposed to what Maokai. Maokai doesn't really want to build either of those.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one. Kazakh's abusing this isolation damage once again, dealing quite a lot of damage, but he forgets that Vladimir has an ultimate to heal back from. Oh, this is why he forgets.
Oh, the Soraka ultimate helped. In all fairness, Soraka definitely assisted there. Gets that assistant gold as...
Oh, Echo collapsing on this Maokai. Maokai definitely can't 1v1 the Vladimir now, not with an Echo knocking on his door. They both have the Proto Belt to get closer to Maokai. They've got the slows. I don't think Maokai can survive much longer. Oh, what a flash from him, but ends up falling anyway. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we have well, 1 kill for 1 so far. Leona falling down, Soraka falling down. Seems to be a support trade so far. And the AD and jungler just back away.
It's not the worst spot to be in because they can now keep forcing. Remember, dear viewer, they did get that mid turret in there, and they also got the dragon. So turret advantage over to the side of the pigeons, and the dragon buff. Imagine 4 buffs of oh god, I've forgotten which dragon this is. I know exactly what it does. It gives 4% on both
it's
magic
the
armor.
4th dragon of the game.
No, the dragon itself.
Oh,
rock dragon.
yeah, it's 4% armor and magic resistance.
Mountain, thank you, production. Mountain Drake. Oh, 4 Mountain Drakes over on the side for the pigeons would be backbreaking to the point where I'd be comfortable to say I don't think dragons could beat them. And the part of the problem is when Aphelios has 4 Mountain Drakes, he becomes an unstoppable machine, especially as he gets to build Death Dance still.
Oh my, I completely forgot that ADs build Death Dance now, and that's completely a thing, and it makes ADs unkillable.
Well, less so to the point, especially as it did get modified somewhat, but 3rd item, Death Dance, is probably a good possibility, especially if we are going to be seeing this Mountain Drake come in.
Indeed, Jarvan heading down to the bottom side of the map. Kha'Zix also seen there. He's currently in the fog of war as we know it. Jarvan getting collapsed on by Leona. Is isolation damage taken advantage of. Ignite going down for the Leona. Jarvan falls down. TP coming down from Vladimir as well. I don't think Vladimir wants to be in this position. Simsa tries to land the stun, but Vladimir's phase rush is just a bit too much for her to handle.
J4 just got absolutely obliterated by part of that isolation damage. Granted, though, what was it for? They were fighting and looking over absolutely nothing. There was nothing to be gained from being around there. So, while tonight we did fall, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like the dragons can actually get anything from it. And if anything, it was kind of bad by both top laners to TP down. They didn't need to do that. No dragon was up for another 2 minutes. Rift Herald's only just come back up. So, well, Baron's only just come back up, so the Rift Herald just gets summoned, and that's sort of it. But they're going to trade mid turrets. That's it.
Yep, 3 towers to 1 at the moment. Red team in favor of the tower. Seems like the blue team's given up quite a lot of outer turrets in this game.
Yeah, that's 3 of them down. They've got all of the outer ones if you're on the pigeon side. Oh, God.
Vladimir, what are you doing at this point of the game? You can't 1v3. You're just going to end up falling down. Kha'Zix isolation damage ends up taking down. He's got quite a bit of lethality already. 4-4 in terms of KDA. Kha'Zix is looking very strong at the moment.
Part of that problem was he was pushing so deep without any vision, and I don't think I'd seen any pings from his team to let him know that everyone's missing. Everyone's missing.
Communication is something to be expected, like at fault. Something at fault because these 5 players are not used to communicating, playing with each other. So they're all treading lightly because since this is we emphasize this is a charity event. We don't want like toxicity to, obviously to take part in the event. So I assume people are more conservative on pings, on saying this. And it kind of leads to confusions around the map.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It is worth noting that on the side of the pigeons tonight, and randomness do actually go to the same university. So potentially there should be a bit, maybe more synergy if they work with each other, but let's see what happens here. Didn't mean to leave this in a dead spot, but we'll just checking some things out around the map. You'll play-by-play.
I completely zoned off in this one. As the blue team decides to take the dragon for themselves, Kha'Zix with the consume some might and we're taking the Drake. Kha'Zix actually pulls onto the echo quite quick. The blue team is just taking a fight they do not want to have. They're probably going to get ace over here. And it's an ace going for the red team. Surely this wasn't a worth it trade.
Yeah, Baron's up. It looks like they're going to try and push. Which way? Yeah, they're running all over to this Baron as they should because it's just free real estate. They get to push this mid into mid down, and they can run it, grab this. Hi isn't going to be up for another 10 seconds, and he's going to be one of their first members up after Gachi Lord 69. This is just free for them, and the Pigeons found the fight they wanted, and they're pulling ahead in this victory at 5k gold.
Indeed, still short timers on the solo laners of the dragons. Well, Byron seems pretty much safe to be in the red team's hands, although Jarvan and his Smite to Deco guaranteed it. Ezreal ult was coming in as well, so it could have been, you know, one of those lucky steals that could have ended up in the highlight reel.
A complete blind lucky steal as well. If he had done that, it would have been phenomenal, but sadly, it was not meant to be. I think it's about time we have a bit of a check-in on the items that our players are currently working with.
Well, if we look at the AD carries, which were the focused matchup of this game, we can see that Ezreal is 2 items in from his core items. I assume he's going either Blade of the King or Death Stance, right?
It's probably going to be that Death Stance. But he's hit a spike now. We all know that the Manamune Trinity Force is a huge part of Ezreal's current build. Normally we see a Gauntlet coming out, which is interesting that we haven't seen that come out, an Iceborne Gauntlet, but going towards it, I assume the Death Stance.
Yeah, it seems like to be hyper carry Ezreal.
Not a terrible idea. Over on the other side, though, this Aphelios has got 3 completed items and wants to 1v1 the top laner.
No way Maokai can escape this. I actually don't believe it if he does. I won't believe it, no. At this point, Aphelios has 3 completed items, and it's 2 attack speed, 1 crit item. Well, 3 crit items if you...
Chat, what time is it? How many years of game development is it? You know the number. You know it.
Oh my god. But the thing is, Aphelios is so good in competitive play. You see someone play in solo queue and you're just like, what are you doing on this champion? Are you not pressing your abilities correctly or something?
So you were asking me, oh, I'm not sure about this Aphelios, I'm not sure about the Vlad. Mate, we completely messed up. I am sorry. I apologize. Because Maokai just dies to Aphelios. I forgot. How could I be so stupid?
And he had Bramble Vest as well, I assume.
Yeah, I know! And he's got the completed Sunfire Cape. Like, oh my god, it's not going well as they're pushing into this bot side. 5 members, they're hungry.
Has the Aphelios ever been released in TFT? Just off topic, because I'm just wondering.
No, not yet. One day, maybe.
Let's hope it's a far, far, far away from the near future. Definitely not coming the next patch or something like that, you know.
Well, normally they like to do it around skin lines, and Aphelios currently doesn't have any skin lines that are... well, actually, no. He is connected with his original skin, base skin, or the skin that came along with it, but they like to normally